Okay.
Ah, Faith and Bigara. St. Paddy's Day, what's more Irish than a corned beef and cabbage, eh? I'll tell you what's more Irish. It'd be lamb, it'd be mutton, it'd be anything but corned beef. They'd have frickin' cows in Ireland.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Well, I'll tell you, the poor Irish bastards back then didn't have money for cows. The landlords owned the cows. They had sheep.
Okay.
And they were fast sheep.
Okay.
Because they were, because they got bored out in the field and... Exactly.
On with it. I'm hungry.
All right. So anyway, we're making corned beef and cabbage for St. Patrick's Day. And corned beef is actually a Jewish thing. They stole it from us, but we'll give it to them because they gave us Guinness beer. So on with the show. What you're going to need is kosher salt, pickling spices, bay leaves. I'm leaving something out. What am I leaving out? Okay, we got salt, we got pickling spices, we have bay leaves, we have water. What am I forgetting?
The raw corned beef.
Oh yeah. Thanks, honey. That's right. You can't have corned beef without your brisket. This is a point cut brisket. It's a big boy. What do we got here? This is a little over 5 pounds. And it was on sale for $1.99, so it's a good deal. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to fill your pot about halfway with water. So you're going to start off, like my grandmother says, with a poundful of salt. About that much. Dump that in the pot. Don't waste any of that's in. And then you're going to follow that with a half a bottle of pickling spices. What? Yeah. And a half a bulb of garlic that you're going to peel. Just like that. Now here's the thing about garlic. If you keep it in your fridge, it'll stay for a long time. What we do, we have one of these little garlic things here. And I'll take a bulb out maybe a week before I need it. I'll put it in there. And that's why these little boogers started to sprout. Because they're at room temperature and low humidity, and they sprout, and for some reason they just taste better. So you're going to take those and just throw them in your water like that. And you're going to let the water come to a boil, and then for the fun part. Now in the meantime, take your meat, open your package, and just give it a rinse because, the blood in that thing is just kind of disgusting and you don't really need that. Now you see this little packet right here? That's just a little bit more coriander and bay leaves. It can't hurt, just put it in there. And also you want to put in about 6 more bay leaves. Bay leaves are good for meat. Now we've got our meat. I've washed my hands. And we are going to put this in the water gently, fat side up. Don't scald your hand. Okay, and then you just turn your heat down to about 3, and you're going to leave it in there. Put the camera on me. And you're going to leave it in there for about an hour a pound. It's that easy. Here's a little trick I learned from my grandmother. Never boil beef. When you boil beef, it gets tough. You want the water steaming. You want it to move, but you don't want it to actually bubble and boil. The temperature should be around 200 degrees or so. So I have one of these little thermometers here. And what I do is I just stick it in the water. It gives you pretty much an instant read. And the water's about 180. And 180 is about perfect. So we got our water at about 180, and you want to keep it there between 180 and 190 because water boils at 212. You don't want the water to boil, the meat will come out tough. And we're going to leave it in there for 6 hours. The general wisdom says about an hour a pound. So when we take this out in 6 hours, this is going to be tender and juicy and beautiful and happy St. Patty's Day. You can see that I actually put some potatoes in there.
Looks good.
Yeah, it does. Okay.
Okay, go.
Okay. So now our stuff is ready. The smart thing to do would be to move your pot over by your cutting board. That way you're not dripping stuff all over the floor. Right? Okay. Use 2 forks. Lift it up, give it a second to drain, and put her down on the cutting board. Just that easy. Now when you take your meat out, what you can do is chop up a cabbage, strain the water so you don't have all those little bits of pickling spices, and boil your cabbage in that. You'll get all that flavor of the corned beef in there. Sound good? Yep. Okay. So you figure out which way the grain is going. And then in this case the grain is going this way. You want to cut across the grain, otherwise it's going to get stringy, and that sucks. So you plunge your knife in, you let your knife do the work.
Cut mine very thin, please. Thin.
Yeah.
Like, that's too thick.
Well, if you want any thinner than that, I'm going to have to use a slicer.
Thin.
Like that?
Yep.
Any thinner, you'll be able to read through that.
Good.
Doesn't that look good, folks?
Looks good. Yum, yum. Happy St. Patrick's Day, all.
Happy St. Patrick's Day. And 8 hours later, you take off the lid, and that's what you get. Not bad. So we've got cabbage, we've got corned beef sandwiches, we got potatoes, we have our Guinness. Honey, have you tried your sandwich yet?
It's delicious.
Delicious?
Very good. Very delicious. Thank you.
You're welcome. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.